This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in the mountains of Colorado. I'm here with Elevating Connections. Since 2015, they have provided events that reunite brothers and sisters who are separated, helping them regain a sense of permanency and connection for their sibling relationships. I'm here with Stacy Sanders, who is the Executive Director as well as founder. Stacy, thanks so much for joining us here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you're formally educated at Colorado State University, University of Phoenix in Human Development, Family Studies, Organizational Management. In the past, you've worked in leadership roles as well as management for various organizations. In 2015, you created a nonprofit that served a need in the family structure. Share with me a little bit how this all began for you.
Yes, family is very important, but I started my career in child welfare in 2011, so working for an agency that advocates for kids in foster care. And along the way, I learned that we separate siblings that have been involved in the foster care system. I have two sisters. I cannot imagine being separated from them. When I realized the number of kids that are being separated, I got involved with Camp 2 Belong, which is where we're at right now. And after our first 2 years, 2013 and 14, it was clear that we needed to do more. There was nobody in the state of Colorado focusing on the sibling relationship. And so I said to myself and to some other folks, it's time that we do this. And so that was the end of 2014. And in 2015, we founded Elevating Connections with the purpose of reuniting siblings separated in care, not just at camp, but programming throughout the year.
Everything out throughout the year, so you expanded on what the camp provided for them.
Exactly.
I mean, a sense of belonging, being part of a family unit, I mean, that's probably something that most of us take for granted. I mean, quite honestly, is fulfilling this need important when it comes to our overall well-being?
100%. The sibling relationship is often the longest relationship any of us are ever going to have. It's the relationship where we all get to learn how to do other relationships. We fight, we make up, we support each other, we defend each other. So I can think of times when I was a kid that, you know, we stood up against mom and dad, my sisters and I, or I told on my sisters and then I made up with them. And so it's our touchstone, that relationship. And so throughout our lives, after we turn 18 and go out into the world, it's our siblings who we turn to who know us the best.
That's true. I mean, it's our foundation. That's where it starts with, where we can go out. Not knowing your family, your siblings, I mean, does that create a type of loneliness that friends or mere acquaintances cannot fulfill? I mean, kind of a very alone in the world feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a connection with siblings that cannot be replaced.
Okay.
So having that relationship ongoing and supportive and consistently, and knowing where they're going to school and where they're sleeping and all the things that they like to do helps with decreasing truancy, increasing overall mental well-being, not just as children, but as adults throughout their lifetime.
There are many ways that siblings are separated.
Yes.
Very common, obviously, is by adoption and foster care. I mean, is that really kind of a harsh reality of that process, and are many of them affected?
Yes. So one of the reasons that siblings get separated in foster care is that there's not enough space for large sibling groups in one home. Another reason is that they have different fathers, and so there's different family members that might take them in. And so it makes it harder to keep siblings together when that happens. And it affects them greatly. Sometimes they are not part of the decision making when they are separated from one of their siblings. So it could literally be that they are home one day with their siblings and the next day they're in separate homes. And it is devastating. It compounds the trauma that they've already had. Yes.
That makes it very hard for the whole unit to basically be prosperous. Let me ask you this. You touched on that we have friends we meet in school early on. Sometimes we stay in touch, yet the sibling relationship, once again, is the longest relationship in our lives.
Yes.
I mean, this is the relationship that your organization is really helping them to regain.
Yes. Not only regain, but strengthen. So we're giving them an opportunity to really understand what it is to be a supportive sibling group, and know that it's okay to be mad at your siblings, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to have a good time together, and you're always going to be there for each other. And it brings a sense of comfort and calm, and some confidence goes along with it too. If you know there's people out there that have your back,
Yeah.
who know your history.
Yep, that is nice. I mean, share with me the process a little bit here. First, how do you find these youth who need your services, and are they referred by others? And share with me how that works a little bit.
Yes, we have good partnerships with the variety of stakeholders that work in foster care. So, of course, the Departments of Human Services. There are 64 in the state of Colorado, so we get this information out to all the caseworkers out there. Guardians ad litem, who are the attorneys that serve the best interest of kids. We work close with them. Also, CASA volunteers, court-appointed special advocates. They are volunteers who advocate for the best interest of kids. We get them from foster parent support groups and things like that. So kin provider support groups. We are out there all over saying, hey, we've got space, bring your kids to us.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this began with a camp for you. It evolved into basically a nonprofit. A primary event is the Camp to Belong, where campers gain a sense of belonging. Tell me about this special event, and how often do you hold it here in Colorado?
So Camp to Belong is amazing. It was founded by Lynn Price, who we are lucky enough to have living here in Colorado. And she and her sister were separated in foster care as children, and they were a little bit older before they knew that. As they grew up, they knew that there was more that needed to be done for siblings. So Camp to Belong was born 28 years ago. There are 10 Camp to Belongs around the country. And when I learned what camp does, and knowing the importance of the sibling relationship, I knew immediately that Camp to Belong needed to be part of our organization. And so Camp to Belong is one of our signature programs. It's an amazing week. We work very hard to pull this week off for the siblings, and besides me, everyone here is a volunteer.
Interesting. Today we're at Camp to Belong in Colorado, yet they have these across the nation and even abroad. So if you have a sibling, let's say in another state, can you choose a camp elsewhere, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So we've had kids from other states come here because they have siblings here. So they fly in, and there's family, foster parents of their siblings, pick them up and bring them up here to camp.
These programs, I mean, they're intentionally designed to celebrate and strengthen sibling relationships.
Yes.
Summarize a little bit what takes place at camp here.
Absolutely. So we are at Camp Shady Brook, a YMCA camp in Deckers, Colorado, the best camp I've ever been to. And it's beautiful. They have all the normal kid activities that you would think of: horseback riding, swimming in a lake, hiking, campfires with s'mores. You cannot have camp without s'mores. We also have a ropes course and a challenge wall and a zip line. So those are all the camp activities that they have. And then we have activities that are specific for the sibling relationship. We throw a birthday party for them because a lot of our siblings don't spend their birthdays together. So we have birthday parties. They make pillows for each other with messages on them. But really what makes this camp unique is that we focus on the sibling relationship all week in various conversations, in our words of the day, and they are together all day, and same gender kids are in the same cabin. So they're really spending the equivalent of, for some of them, a year's worth of visitation right in this week.
It's amazing. I mean, not only are the campers handpicked, but also the camp community, the staff, the team. They're chosen based on their experience, their expertise. Is that important to the success of the program?
So my administrative team, I have 2 camp directors, and we have 2 licensed clinical social workers that are on site. We all have a lot of experience in this work. And then our volunteers come from various walks of life. And so we have our lead counselors who have been here for a while, have been through camp, and they lead the rest of our counselors. What is amazing is that some of our counselors come here not knowing anybody, and they're just ready to dive in and help the kids. And it's life-changing for our kids, but also for our volunteers. It's truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
So the common thread here is obviously expertise that you have in place, but also just a desire to help and be part of a community, and they're going to get something out of it as well. I mean, an event-filled day, event-filled days of sharing a cabin, eating meals together, learning to horseback ride, cheering each other on. I mean, this is intense over a short period of time. That can really help catch up on lost time, would you say?
It sure can. And it does. They'll start building memories and things that they can look back on. The challenge is at the end of the week when they go home. And so we try and make sure we let them know when our next event is, And I do a lot of work with the care providers after camp to say, hey, let's try and get those kids together as soon as possible, or at least get them on the phone, because the transition out of camp can be a little hard for the kids.
That is tough. So there's transition process throughout. The program is wonderful. It's fun for the campers. Yet for those who provide that experience, it's well thought out. It's intentional. The end result is improved self-esteem, increased resiliency, enhanced conflict management skills, connection to a wider support network. Can the team actually see that transformation take place? I mean, compared to these kids coming in and when they leave?
A lot of times we can. I tell my team, I said, one of the things that we do here at Elevating Connections and through camp is we provide moments for the kids. And we don't know when those moments are going to come, but you'll know when they're happening. And so those are the moments, those times when the kids are just sitting around doing an art project together. Or one of our counselors relayed that on the hike yesterday, there's a sibling group of 5. They just put 5 rocks on top of each other in a stack for their height, basically. So big rocks for the big brothers, and then they got smaller, just as a symbol of, hey, we were here. That's a moment. And so those are things that the kids will take away from here. And that's what we're doing. Life is full of moments, and that's what we do here.
You're creating an environment where those magical moments take place. You don't know when they're going to happen, but you know they are happening. All the events you provide are for those with siblings and even those without siblings. The feeling of belonging, is this realized through your inner community that you've created? Yes.
What's really great is not only are the kids spending time with their siblings, but they make friends. So at our connecting events outside of camp, we have a lot of activities in the park where we just let them play. They start playing kickball together and picking teams with the other siblings that are there. And it gives them a sense of normalcy because the other kids are in similar situations.
So camp is held during the summer. What other connecting events are held year-round?
So we do events once a month. And to give opportunities for the kids to come together, we do various activities, lots of stuff in the park anytime we could be outside because the kids like to run. So we do art projects. Art is incredibly therapeutic and fun for the kids to do, so we do art. We're planning a trip to the pumpkin patch for Halloween, and first time ever, we're hoping to have a holiday event where the kids get to cook a holiday meal together and sit down as siblings to create a holiday tradition and get the idea that that's something they can do as they get older.
Not only events in the community, but also raising awareness in the community regarding the needs and solutions for these youths, writing workshops, poetry jam, all of these are part of what you do.
Yes, absolutely. The other piece of our programming is our Youth Connections. It's our Youth Voice program. What we hear all the time from the youth that are in foster care is nobody's listening. So we help them use the voice they already have inside by utilizing the arts. So we have spoken word workshops and we have an annual poetry jam. They get on the stage, they get to share their story and speak their truth. We are adding in comedy, has become a big part of our programming, art, song, and we're even going to add in some cooking and some things because their art comes in all sorts of formats. It's not just the traditional art, painting and things. So we're going to be adding that in and really bringing that into all of our sibling programming as well.
You have definitely expanded on the camp process. You've brought it year-round and really have created some components that you felt were important to put a full program together. A program like this, I mean, obviously it is affecting the youth. It's affecting your volunteers and those who help out, but really it's affecting our community. I mean, this is kind of a ripple effect.
Absolutely. We actually talk about that here at camp, that the ripple effect and the impact that we're having. But I think what most people don't realize is that they are impacted by people in foster care. So their kids are probably sitting next to somebody who's in foster care. The barista that serves you may have been involved in the foster care system. Your boss may be a foster parent and may not share it. So there are people, because it's so huge in the community and the impact that it has, somebody has touched your life that you just may not know. And foster care has touched everybody's life.
Affected directly and indirectly both.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yes.
You have spent years volunteering, being a child advocate for youth that have felt alone. You've created an organization that created a family if they did not have one. And you have connected brothers and sisters again. Does this continue to be rewarding for you?
This is absolutely where I'm supposed to be, and it feeds my soul. It is a lot of work, and I love every minute of it. because I see the kids when they come together and they're laughing and they're fighting and then making up and doing all the things that I did with my sisters, and we're where we're supposed to be. And there's so much more work to do. I also work with the families to try and help them support the kids after they leave here. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of emotion that goes with the kids. So, but without a doubt, I will retire from here in 15 or 20 years. This is my life's work.
That is wonderful. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is the website. And speaking of a lot of work to do, it's really easy to see all the programs that they have available. But honestly, the lifeblood of any organization, especially a nonprofit, is you, the community.
Yes.
Basically coming together, volunteering, using your sources, your resources, your talents. Basically, there's a need right here. If you want to be part of another community and bring something to a child that basically has been left behind, this is a great opportunity. Obviously, if you're a corporation or a company out there, monetary donations are what keep this alive. As you can see, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but there is a lot of monetary needs as well that keep this alive and well. This is really a gift for Colorado to be able to provide for such an organization like this. Once again, that is Elevating Connections since 2015, providing events that reunite brothers and sisters separated by foster care, helping them regain a sense of permanency and connection by strengthening their sibling relationships. This is Gary Atensu with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.